Uh, I feel that there are enough work which is going on, and there is enough scope by you can say different researchers and students who is going to work in this area of big data analysis for improving ROI. In nutshell, I can simply say, without taking much time, that our goal is that we should have minimum input and maximum output. That is the how we should be able to maximize our output, how we can optimize our output. Okay, and that is possible only by innovation. And we should see that how innovative work we should be able to carry out to have a better return.
There could be two aspects to this. So today, if you look at, you would have heard of another social media platform called Orkut. People were using Orkut for so long. Now, no longer people use. The way IT changes, my sense here is it is a combination of the business acumen and the IT that really will determine how long you sustain. So the Facebook guy has bought WhatsApp. I mean, if you look at what's the need of buying it for $19 billion? So he is foreseeing certain threat to Facebook itself.
You are paying for WhatsApp, which was free.
So no, I don't think we are paying any.
No, you are asked to pay.
So generally, if you ask people, they generally don't pay and they upgrade again. So I mean that is one way of monetizing and sustaining the business.
Started with this.
I mean you look at a $19 billion investment.
That is the cost. That is the cost. Facebook has paid for the $19 billion.
Absolutely.
So there are, because the population on the WhatsApp is much more than any of the country today in India. So those many people's information, personal information is available with them.
So I was actually drawing to this point whether they would have sold or not. So it's a if and but question. So no, but the point coming to the subject matter here. Now IT and how it can actually deliver or maximize or improve the ROI. So if I kind of reflect back on my career span of last 16 odd years, 1998 I started working. So the .com piece was very strong there. So when you look at the industries or companies which were not on the .com space, were disconnected, disjointed, working independently, they got an avenue to kind of come to the web. The market reach increased substantially at that point in time. So there is very minimal investment coming from those companies' side in terms of increasing their reach, etc. So this is one space. Then it evolved into what we call the packaged applications of the ERP side. Many of these manufacturing companies, other telecom companies had disjointed functions. We look at the back-end finance, HR, procurement. With the ERP piece coming into play, there was a holistic view of let's say the inventory levels, the manpower that you had. So the evolution of the technology definitely impacted the ROI of many of these companies. Today, as Dr. Agarwal was pointing out, we are talking of big data and analytics. Now, to give you an example, on the telecom side, we have customers who are talking about a 6% increase in the profits with a 1% retention of the user. So if the right user is retained, 1% of the user is retained, it's delivering 6% more profits to the companies. So how you are going to do that? I mean, telecoms, just taking forward this example, there are tremendous amount of those data that is being generated on the telecom side, whether it be the call data records and so on. So with the coming forth of the big data and associated technologies, I mean data mining, generating relevant information out of it, retaining the customer who's worthwhile retaining, maybe who has brought more products than one. You have a targeted customer base, much more targeted. And again, drawing to the parlance of what you pointed out, multi-processing, multi-threading. You look at how technology has evolved. Supercomputers were meant to process parallelly. Today with Hadoop and I'm sure a lot of you, I saw certain courses happening.
Mobile
with Hadoop, with the technologies like, I don't want to get into technology specifics, but there are technologies like MapReduce, which are associated with Hadoop. They actually facilitate parallel processing, and wherein your logic remains where it is. The data that needs to process goes into, or the logic goes into the different nodes, and you don't have to buy expensive hardware. So there is a parlance vis-a-vis the hardware aspect that you pointed out. In my opinion, has really evolved over the years to kind of improve upon the ROIs of different organizations. To the extent that the organizations have been able to use it, that is a topic of debate. There has to be an alignment of a lot of companies that we see, because big data is a hot topic today. They want to do something about it. which is not a bad idea. You start, you land up somewhere. But at that point in time, we see that there is no real direction on what where they want to head to. So, but certainly in my view, numbers could be questionable. How much ROI? But there has been an evolution in IT to deliver improvements in the ROI as I see clearly.
Dr. Murthy or Ashish is going to talk about it. On technology evolution, what is going to happen future? Say by 2020 or 2030, what will be the technology available?
The first thing that people are thinking about, miniaturizing of the devices that you are talking about. See, good old days, around 50 years ago, in your good old days, a 1 GB hard disk is of this complete of this
Whole
row. Today 1 GB hard disk, 1 GB memory, you can hold it in a small 1 inch or maybe half an inch device. So that is miniaturizing of the technology. Second is power consumption. That is another. Green technology is coming up. So people want to use less power for maximum computations. How you can use it? Yes, instead of having a supercomputer, why can't you have a parallel computer or a distributed computer? So that is another, or a grid computing. Why can't we have, instead of having a data center, why can't you distribute all the centers? Suppose in an institution like this, there are, I think, at least 1,000 desktops may be there in this.
Yes.
So if you are taking off 1,000 desktops, and then if you take the computing power of these desktops, it is almost equivalent to one supercomputer of a smaller, maybe 8 nodes or a 16 nodes. So why can't you encache the computers that you are having it, connect in a grid mode within this institution itself, and then use it? Some of these technologies which are coming up.
Today the demand of the customer is limited, very limited intervention in terms of coding or development.
Yeah.
I mean, the tools that I can use off the shelf with, just from a configuration perspective.
Thank you, Mr. Datta, for being with us. And we are sure in the near future we will again have similar panel discussions, but on a changing technology-based topic.
Well,
As new things will come up by the time.
Sure.
And technology is changing so fast. Unless until you change to the technology, nothing will come up really to your rescue. And thank you all the panelists, Dr. Murthy, Dr. Agrawal, and Mr. Ashish Chaturvedi for joining us today. And we look forward to your participation again in similar such drives at the campus. Thank you.
Thank you.